Hello and welcome to TB3 Sports Talk. I'm here with Will. It's TB2 today, but we're still going to have a beautiful and fun episode. It's episode 78. Thank you guys for tuning in. Will, how are you feeling about this on this beautiful Wednesday night?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just, blown away by the studio.
It's looking good, dude.
We keep adding stuff,
dude.
man.
I can't believe you brought the Bucs Tostitos, man. That's a great
Super
pull.
Bowl edition. I'm pretty proud of that one. It's been sitting in my room for years now, just growing dust. But I saved it for moments like this, where
That's electric,
maybe
bro.
one day in the future I would do something like this, and here I am.
I'm really happy. It's sick. You brought some portraits. We got the popcorn bowl.
Dude,
helmet.
you're exposing us.
It's all right. Hey, we only got real fans here. They know that that's from the popcorn.
I've kept it nice too. Like
it's pristine.
Using the popcorn. That's it.
I swear that's what they get the ball boys to wear.
It looks like it.
It's what it looks like. Oh yeah, but I guess
one more
else?
the football there too.
Yeah.
I took it to a Bucks training camp. I think 2012, 2013. Got signed by a bunch of players. I couldn't tell you who signed it. I literally have CTE. I have no recollection of who signed it. I think maybe Gerald McCoy's on it.
Hey, you're the only person
Maybe.
I've ever went to Bucks training camp with. Only time was with you, and then Ethan was there. Shout out. But yeah,
they just don't open it up to the fans anymore.
They don't do that anymore.
Well,
it's like season tickets, isn't it? That's dumb, man. Come on,
I would love to have season tickets, but in this economy,
sponsor us, Bucks. We will give us season tickets, and we'll be in forever gratitude.
We'll be faithful.
We are faithful, but we'll be extra faithful.
Mm.
Like, we won't even say anything bad, even if something is glaringly bad.
We'll just be like propaganda.
We'll be like some of the other podcasts that we won't name right now. Anyways, full week of Tampa sports. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. But we're going to start with the team that is actively playing. The team that was kind of going through a rough stretch. And it kind of continued. Will, I actually think you were spot on with your Lightning predictions last week.
I wasn't fretting because it all went according to plan.
Yeah, dude. Will, if you listened to the show, you would not have been disappointed after the Lightning lost 4-3 in the shootout to the Philadelphia Flyers, because Will told you that after the Flyers lost, the Lightning would go on the road and get their revenge against Boston 6-2, and then go back home and get a revenge against the Flyers 2-0. So they were 2-1 this week. Will, what stuck out to you in these games?
Oh man, what stuck out to me? I think just changing it up. I think Boston was kind of your big win there, where you looked at when they played them the first time, and it probably was one of their worst games of the season. Just everything went wrong. They looked sloppy. They looked like they didn't want to be out there. And then this game was total dominance. I think the biggest thing, the second period, out shooting them 20-0.
Yeah.
Didn't even let the Bruins get a shot off.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I just think that the pace, their energy was electric, and so yeah, I think that was really a huge win for them. I knew it was coming too.
I always knew the Lightning would beat Boston on March whatever that day was. All right, LeBron.
Yeah, I mean the Flyers game.
Yeah.
The win. I mean it was really 1-0 until the empty netter.
Yeah.
I thought the Flyers actually dominated at times, were a more aggressive team, but all in all, sometimes you just squeak out with a win like that. It just takes one breakaway that we saw from Kucherov there, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, I think going back to the Boston game, because I think that could be a pretty big, bounce back moment for the Lightning going forward into this season, because the Lightning have 15 games left. They are right now, as of the last time I checked, they're second place in the Atlantic Division. You do not want to be second place, because then you got to play the third place team, which would be Toronto. I would very much rather play Ottawa or Montreal than the Florida Panthers or the Maple Leafs, quite frankly, in the first round. That's just my opinion, and I think a lot of Lightning fans would agree. But going back to the Boston game, I think the Boston game really showed the Lightning in the sense of they came out ready to play. They were prepared, and they were tenacious. That was the word I would use to describe that game, because the Lightning really did not do a great job finishing in that game. I mean, that game was actually 1-1 in the first period. I think it might have been at the end of the first period. Either The second goal for the Lightning either was early in the second or late in the first, but it was 1-1 for a time. And the Lightning were just dominating that game. They were tenacious. They were getting all these chances, but they really just did not have their finishing touch. And they really haven't had their finishing touch in the last 6 games or so, which I think is kind of like that comes in waves for a lot of hockey teams. And the Lightning are kind of just in a dry spout. Seems like they can't stop hitting the posts, and the crossbars and stuff like that. But in that game, I mean, every rebound, every shot, everyone was to the net. Getting the puck, great
causing
passes,
havoc.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it was like it looked like they were playing against, like when old heads are playing basketball against like their 17-year-old. Like they definitely don't have the skill, but they're just getting all the rebounds, in the paint. Like that's what it felt like for the Lightning. They just there was nothing pretty about it. It was just hardcore domination and physical wear and tear from the Lightning. And I think that mentality they came in with was very, very crucial for this stretch run for the Lightning.
I completely agree. Yeah, I think really the only part, like you said, was later in the first period. They kind of. Boston ties it up. You can go, here we go again. But after that, it was right back, basically immediately into the second period. Yeah. So almost a complete game for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you really saw the defensemen get involved. I think Victor Hedman had a goal in that game. Darren Radish, I'm pretty sure, had a goal in that game. And you've also seen Ryan McDonough become a lot more involved offensively in the last couple weeks. He's had a really, really solid season. Kind of one of the more underrated pickups, even though we know and love Ryan McDonough. And I think as Lightning fans, a lot of us kind of just, from his time before, we kind of just group him in like, oh, Ryan McDonough's been here for 5 years. But he really hasn't. He's been on the Predators for multiple years. We haven't won a cup since Ryan McDonough left, and him being back has been a huge part of this Lightning defense. He's been playing really, really well. Victor Hedman has been getting a lot more involved offensively. And kind of overall, I think the Lightning in the last week or so, the story has kind of been lack of production by their top line, but then some production from other guys. Like you look at this, Philadelphia loss. You have Gage Gonsalves scoring a goal. You got Zemungus Girgensons getting a goal. And then you have Cam Atkinson in his revenge game getting a goal. And you have no top liner scoring on that game. And then you go forward to, this Bruins game. And you have, defensemen scoring. You got Hedman. You got Nick Paul, Anthony Cirelli, Darren Radish. These are not first-line guys. Brandon Hagel, Anthony Cirelli, both on the empty net. Those are second-liners. So I think, something that I've noticed and I think was a big, part of that losing streak was the lack of production from the top line. And I think some of that had to come with, Kucherov did not play in that first Philadelphia game. He's been sick, so you kind of can excuse some of that lack of production. But guys like Gensel, Braden Point, have you been satisfied with the way they've been playing?
Yeah, well, I think, that's what kind of made the Philadelphia loss a little better for me. You took the point from me, is just having, third and fourth line guys stepping up and making plays. And I think, I wasn't totally disappointed about that loss, not because I already knew it was going to happen, but I just think on any given night, you're on the road, you get 3 guys, not top liners to score 3 goals. And I think, I don't think Johansson played bad, but maybe if that's Vasi in there, goes to a shootout, that's honestly something, that's a formula for stealing a win. And I think I've talked about it on the show plenty of times where it's, Kucherov can't be your only offense. You can't only rely on the power play. You got to have some of these guys step up and score some goals and, really help your star players out. So I really appreciated seeing that this week from these guys.
Yeah, I think so too. I do think, though, to go on Philadelphia and be saying we wanted to steal that win is a little bit concerning because, the Lightning are a better team than Philadelphia. But with the way that they were playing, you definitely take, and I think that definitely was a step forward for them, and it kind of propelled them into these 2 wins that they got following that game. And then you even look at the second Philadelphia game. I thought that game, you mentioned it, I think there was stretches with the Flyers. The Flyers' speed really was something that I think took the Lightning off guard in both games. There's a lot of times where there was just people that were unmarked and people were kind of, on the Lightning, were kind of misjudging speed. But, the person who was not misjudging anything was Andrei Vasilevsky. You mentioned he had the day off against the Flyers on Thursday, and then, comes back, has a dominating performance in front of him against Boston, and then he comes back in Amalie Arena, and he is fantastic. Gets the shutout, And he really kept us in that game for a long time because, like you said, it was 1-0 for the majority of the game, and Vazzy made stop after stop. So I think that game was all about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really was the saving grace for us in that game, especially late in the third. I mean, the Flyers were really hammering it down on him, and he was able to stay strong. Yeah, what I mean by like stealing a win is I just think it didn't go their way.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing bad, but you still found a way, thanks to your third and fourth line guys, to get it into a shootout. And you just think, to me, I consider that stealing a win.
Yeah,
you
sure.
Probably shouldn't have won. You didn't
stole
play.
A point.
Yep, you did steal a point too. But I think they should have won that game. Like, I think
that shootout went long too.
It was very long.
It was a long shootout. Like you always feel like you should win that one, especially with a backup goalie.
Yeah, and Hagel needs to work on his one-on-ones.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
He kind of blew it there, and then he had a breakaway against the Flyers again and blew it. But no, I just think later into that game, you have a 2-1 lead as the Lightning, and it ends up you end up giving up the game. You end up getting it tied because what's his name comes out of the penalty box, breakaway,
Bobby
Lightning
Brink.
caught off guard,
Yeah,
and they tie it up, and then before you know it, you're down 3-2. I just think you should have put your foot on the gas. It was coming off of a power play. You got to put bad teams to rest.
Yep.
So I just think everything went wrong for that game.
For sure. And then I think something else that has really impressed me about the Lightning this whole season, especially recently, is their penalty kill. Right now, overall, in 2024-2025, the Lightning's penalty kill is ranked 5th in the NHL, killing off 82.5% of all power plays. And then in the last 15 games, I'm pulling up Instagram to see, but the last 15 games, the Lightning are 11-3-1, and their penalty kill is the second best in the NHL, killing off 86.8% of opponents' power play. So I think the penalty kill has been amazing. Yanni Gourde has only made it better. He's been really, really good. I think he has 4 assists in 6 games with the Lightning. His presence has been felt. Very, very
and on
good.
On the power play too, man.
Yeah. He that was the one to Gonçalves where he had a beautiful pass to Gonçalves and he tipped it in. I think that was the first Philadelphia
just
game.
skating around the ice.
Yeah, he's been a really big help. Borkstrand got that first goal. I'd like to see him produce a little bit more, but he's been around the puck. They both have contributed. You got to remember these guys are third liners. They're providing more depth than they are, high level scoring because we already have that. But the Lightning's penalty kill led by Brandon Hagel, led by Anthony Cirelli. Zemgus is really good. Luke Glendening is amazing, bro. Oh my gosh, dude. There was a couple, plays, especially in that Philadelphia game, the second one in Amalie Arena, where he was just single-handedly just killing off seconds after seconds on the power play. So I've been really impressed with the Lightning's penalty kill. I think if they can get better on the other side of special teams, I think this team's going to be really, really dangerous. It's been good to see them get a couple wins. And do we want to move forward and look ahead to see if they can continue this winning streak?
Yeah, let's see if they can.
So, big game. So, we're recording. I think I already said it, but we're recording on Wednesday night. So, there's a big game for the Lightning coming out tomorrow when the episode is coming out. And it's in Dallas against a team that is very, very good. 89 points in the year. The Dallas Stars will host the Tampa Bay Lightning at 8 p.m. Dallas, they went out and got Mikko Rantanen. That's a team I feel like has been kind of on the cusp of getting the cup but never got it, but they are going all in right now. They're a formidable squad. And then the Lightning will stay out west, and on Saturday they will play the Utah Hockey Club for, I think, the first time ever, if I'm not mistaken. And they'll see their old friend Mikhail Sergachev. It'll be in the Delta Center. That's Saturday at 5 p.m. And then back-to-back, they will be playing the Golden Knights on Sunday at 8 p.m. And then next Tuesday, the Lightning will go back home to Amalie Arena to host the Penguins. That is a stacked week. That is a hard road trip.
Busy, stacked week. Yep.
3 games in 4 days against, some formidable teams. I mean, 2 playoff teams, and then Utah, who they're streaky. They can get you anyway. So, and then you go back home. Obviously, the Penguins are not as good. But that's 4 games. Will, what is your record prediction? And maybe something you're looking for in the Lightning, especially on this road trip.
Just better defense. I've been hammering it every single week now. Just too many breakaways. Too many times where they look, discombobulated when there's a turnover or getting it between the blue lines. Like you got to lock that in. Yeah, defense across the board has got to be better. So I'd like to see that. No breakaways. I mean, they're going to happen, but let's limit them, okay? Man, I'm feeling good. Can I go 2 for 2? Would love to. I don't know if they're going to beat Dallas. Probably not. I'm going to say they're going to lose to Dallas, but I think they're going to win the next 3.
Nice. Any goal scorer predictions?
Man. I'll have to think on it.
All right, so I'll go. For me, I think I'm going to rope what I'm looking to see into my goal scorers because I'm looking at Braden Point. I think Braden Point has been very, very quiet over the month of March and even going into February, and I think this is the time for Braden Point. This road trip is the time where I need to see Braden Point produce more. I think Gensel has had his moments. Cooch has been solid as they come. I think the third line, the second line, Sorelli, Hagel, Gonsalves, they have all been contributing, but you just haven't heard a lot from Braden Point. I think he's had some good opportunities. He's been healthy. He looks as fast as ever. And I think this is the road trip that we see Braden Point get back to scoring goals and producing at a high level because we need Braden Point to be at his A game for the Lightning to be at their best. So, for me, I think Braden Point will score 2 goals on this road trip. I'm calling it, and I'm asking for him to do it. So that's my goal scorer. I do think the Lightning will split these 4 games. I think they're probably going to lose to Dallas. I think they split the back-to-back, and then they go home and beat Penguins. So I'll say they lose to Dallas, they beat Utah, they lose to Vegas, they beat Pittsburgh. So they're going to go 2-2 and Braden Point scoring this week.
All right. I'm going to go Hagel shorthanded.
All right.
You see a Hagel shorthanded.
All right. So that's your Lightning talk. Tune into the Bolts. Comment down below. What has been your key to the Lightning this last week? What is your record prediction for the Lightning, going on this West Coast trip? Will they be able to have a winning record, or will they falter like they did the last West Coast trip? We want to hear your thoughts down below. We're going to move on to Tampa Bay Buccaneers because free agency, it was a big first week. We talked about a lot of big signings, but Jason Light was not done. Jason Light's one of the best GMs in the NFL, and even his small moves are going to be some good news. So last week, I think moves that we did not talk about, the Bucs re-signed Sterling Shepard. The Bucs they signed linebacker Anthony Walker Jr. from the Miami Dolphins. The Buccaneers signed cornerback Kendall Vilder and offensive tackle Charlie Heck, 1-year deals. Vilder coming from Detroit, Heck coming from San Francisco. And then, I don't know if we talked about this, but I think we talked about JTS leaving. Justin School is gone. Robert Hainsey is gone. KJ Britt is gone. All those guys going off to other teams. But, what sticks out to you from this new crop of free agents?
I like bringing Sterling Shepard back. I think there was, a good connection with him and Baker Mayfield. And I think he was a solid guy, when injuries happened or if you just needed a third down from him, he was there and he would make a catch, make a play. So I'm excited to see him back in the offense. Mr. Heck, basically you're just replacing School. He's going to do the same kind of role as School did, is just back up both tackles. If, heaven forbid, Wirfs goes down or Gedeke, he's just going to fill that in. Hopefully he won't give up 5 sacks like School did to Aiden
Gedeke
Hutchinson.
can't get hurt. He's wearing the Guardian cap.
He is wearing the Guardian cap. Which, dude.
So goofy.
Be a warrior, man. Come on.
I think, again, I was really a fan of the Charlie Heck deal because, losing Hainsey, losing School, obviously those aren't starters, but depth is important. Last year we had a pretty good, healthy season for our offensive line other than a couple games from Gedeke. I think Wirfs maybe missed one game.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, maybe Barton. No, Barton didn't go down, but Hainsey had to fill in tackle. Maybe Britterson missed a game. I don't even remember. But
I think Barton did go down.
Barton might have had a game, and I think Hainsey played center for at least one game. So, but overall, a very healthy season for offensive line, hoping for that next year. But you want to have the depth. We've seen Bucs teams where the offensive line cannot stay healthy, so you want to keep adding depth. I think they'll probably keep adding depth in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember they drafted Elijah Klein last year. Maybe he could
I was just about to say, UTEP boy, he had to work for this.
Yeah, There you go.
That's what I'm saying. Put him on the field, man.
Yeah, anything. What's that guy's name? Brandon Walton. Don't get that guy on the field. Let me tell you what.
You have to live in El Paso and play college football there. Like you made out the mud. You've been through the struggle. Like he's hungry.
Yeah, and then another big signing for me is Anthony Walker Jr. He's coming over from Miami. KJ Britt's going from Tampa to Miami. It was not a trade. It was free agents. But I think Anthony Walker could have a really good case of being the Buccaneers, starting linebacker next year. You got Levante David, you got Servace Dennis. We want to hope that Servace Dennis is going to stay healthy, but we never know with him
At this point,
and then
you're just going to have to expect it.
Yeah, but you want to have at least 3 starting level linebackers, and I don't think KJ Britt was a starting level linebacker. I think Anthony Walker will be more viable in the pass game. Hopefully he'll be able to just be a solid linebacker, be a guy that we can trust on the field. And this also gives the Bucs a little bit more flexibility. Again, we talked about this last week, but now the Bucs are in a position in the draft where they can pretty much take the best player off the board because they don't have to focus on linebacker or edge or corner because, while you want to improve at those positions are definitely, good enough at this point to continue to be a Super Bowl contender. I'd say even corner. I know a lot of people are dogging on Jamel Dean and Zion McCollum, and while you want depth behind those guys because they can't stay healthy, I still trust those guys. So it'll be interesting.
Do we talk about Hall?
Yes, Bryce Hall's coming back. Another depth piece. I didn't say his name. Bryce Hall, he only played about a half of a game with the Buccaneers in the regular season last year, but they're bringing him back. He could be, maybe cornerback 3, some depth on the outside cornerback position. I think it's a solid move. What do you think, Will?
He deserves a chance. He deserves to get some playing time. Is unfortunate the way he went down week 1. Comes from the Jets. Didn't have the greatest of time there, but again, this is a New York Jets, okay? Scratch about anything you think about a certain player. If he comes from the Jets, be willing to give him another chance. We need the depth at corner, and I think he's going to produce. He's going to produce this year.
Yeah, the depth at corner is so huge. I mean, again, I love Josh Hayes. I don't actually maybe love Josh Hayes, but he's a great special teamer. He's good for what he does, but for him to be thrust into a playoff game because of that much lack of depth is shocking. It's stunning, and it cannot happen again if you want to win a Super Bowl. You have to have more depth in the cornerback secondary position, and I'm really hoping that they do. And I think Bryce Hall will help with that. I think the draft. I would be shocked if the Bucs don't get multiple secondary guys. I'd be shocked. So that'll be interesting. Again, we'll keep you guys posted on any free agent moves. Does any of the free agent moves of last week change your grade on Bucs free agency? I think I said A-.
I don't even think I graded it, to be honest. I think I got skipped.
No, you said A, right?
Did I say A?
I think you said A.
Yeah, I still say it's an A.
I think so,
They're
too.
doing everything I want them to do.
Yeah, and I think if I think Joel was at a B+. I think the Anthony Walker move would maybe get him up to an A-. But I think the Bucs have had a great free agency so far.
He didn't like the Godwin money or something.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Joel.
He'll be back next week to defend his claims. Anyways, so I think, comment down below, what's your grade of Bucs free agency so far? Do you think it's an A? Do you think we're overrating it? Would you say it's an A+? Do we think it's a slam dunk free agency? Let us know in the comments. But we're going to get to the third Tampa Bay team. The Tampa Bay Rays. We had some news come out today from spring training. The boys have been playing some encouraging stuff. Today, just in today's game, you got back-to-back home runs from Eloy Jimenez and Danny Jansen, some new Rays. Love to see that. Love to see some right-handed power, something we didn't really have a lot of last year. I know Christopher Morel hit a home run this week. That was nice to see. Zach Littell, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Solid as they come. But
solid
also,
numbers, man.
And also the news
consistency.
That came out. We will take consistency. And some news that came out is the Rays are sending catcher Logan Driscoll, outfielder Jake Mangum, outfielder Cameron Misner. I knew how to say that. Right-handed pitcher Cole Sulser, right-handed pitcher Jake Waguspach to AAA Durham, and then they're sending Kenny Piper, Chandler Simpson, and Carson Williams to minor league camp. So these guys are all but sure to not be on the opening day roster. I don't know if there's any really surprises in there, but I mean, what do you make of this or just spring training in general?
Man, that's our future right there. A lot of those names I'm excited to see. Yeah, I mean, I think Chandler Simpson took the world by storm. He's fast as lightning. He gets the ball in play, and he's already at first before you can even blink, And I think, I'm excited to see him come up, but I assume, it's just not his time yet. Could happen this year. None of those moves really surprise me or by any means. Just gets me excited for the future because we got some dogs coming up. We really do.
Important to remember, Chandler Simpson has not played a pitch of AAA ball. So for all those people that thought he was coming up for opening day, I never thought it was likely. I know some people were saying, Michael Harris never played AAA. That's fine. The Rays do things a little bit differently. Michael Harris worked out good. I think Chandler Simpson would have been all right because all he would have been asked to is hit the ball and and run, hitting and play. I saw some stats like this dude. I think his end zone contact rate was over 80%. He really has the chance to be special. Like I know a lot of people call him Billy Hamilton. I think he's going to be much better than Billy Hamilton. I think Chandler Simpson. I think we could see him in June. I really do if he comes up hot. So I would love to see Chandler Simpson on this team. I think he would bring that spark. Just imagine this guy getting on before Yandy and Brandon Lau and Junior Caminero. That is all you can really ask for. That would be electric. And then I think maybe a guy you wanted to talk about is Eloy Jimenez.
Yeah, he's getting me excited. It was just kind of a move the Rays made, and it was a little bit of a gamble. What were you going to get out of him? And he's put up some solid numbers in spring training, and I really think, this is one of those guys, the Rays, just a sneaky good move. They picked this guy up, and maybe he's our DH this year.
Yeah, a couple home runs in spring training, a double. Obviously, Eloy Jimenez had a really tough start to spring training. I think the first couple weeks he couldn't hit a beach ball, but the last couple weeks he's been really, really good. His spring training OPS is 747, which is that is solid as they come. Definitely, I think we could see it go up. This is a guy. He's a former Silver Slugger winner. That is Eloy Jimenez has a track record. The Rays would only really be asking him to play DH, and I really do think he could be a contributor. I think a lot of people he went to the wayside with how good Curtis Meade's been playing, which that is still a battle to see who's going to be the right-handed DH
I gotta
spot.
see it in the regular season.
I do.
I just can't. The numbers are off the charts. Yeah. He's looking amazing,
amazing.
I have to see it on the 29th.
Yeah, dude, just good stuff. Again, Danny Jansen has a 1,000 OPS in spring training. It's just. I really hope he translates this in the regular season. To have a catcher with that type of power is such a game changer for the Rays. It's something we haven't had since Mike Zunino. And, Danny Jansen has, what is this? He has 3 home runs. 3 home runs in spring training. It's just been really, really good. So I've been excited to see Danny Jansen. I've been excited seeing the pitching. I think Shane McClanahan has pitched really, really well. Shane Baz and ran into a couple rough starts, which was a little discouraging. But I think he'll be just fine. I think this week, opening day is, 10 days away as we're recording.
It is.
So, this week we're going to kind of see some full, fleshed-out starts from the big guys. We saw Littell go 6 innings today, so I think that's going to kind of be the theme. We're going to see some normal major league starts where you're going in, knowing that you're going to pitch, your full amount of innings, have your full, pretty much your full leash of starting. So I would, if you're at home watching, I would tune into some of these games because they're going to be as close to the actual games this week as they can be. Because opening day is next Friday. I think next week we'll have some Rays season preview content coming out for you on the show. And it'll be interesting. I am really, really excited to see this Rays team. I have high expectations. I really do. I'm just thinking about June. May, June. You get the reinforcements of Ha-Seong Kim and Chandler Simpson. That will be very, very nice. I'm excited for this pitching staff. I'm just excited for Ray Ball.
Are we going to do a Rays special next week?
I think so. Or we will have either a segment of the show or a separate episode. We'll have one of them for you guys. So don't you guys worry.
We haven't done a TB3 special
edition. It has been a while. We've been too stuck on TB3 University, and that's a great segue because it's March, and I don't know if we have any March Madness enthusiasts in the TB3 viewers at home, but me and Will here are huge March Madness enthusiasts, and some overall thoughts on the tournament before we get into maybe rapid fire bracket picks?
Oh man, I'm just so excited every single year. You come so fast, and it's just the greatest 4 days every weekend for the next month or so. Mm-hmm. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just game after game. I don't turn them off; they're just on, and I watch them until they're over at night, and I do it all again the next day. You ever get emotional during one shining moment? Like, it has nothing to do with you.
I get emotional during the whole week, man. I love March Madness. It's so good.
I don't really have dogs in the fight this year. I don't. I haven't for quite some time, but one shining moment comes on, dude, and you're like, wow.
Speaking of dogs in the fight, Speaking of dogs in the fight, I have a dog in the fight, and it might be the biggest and meanest dog of them all. Your Florida Gators at home are SEC champions, SEC tournament champions. One of, if not the greatest conference in college basketball history, the Florida Gators won it. And they're going into this tournament as a 1 seed in the Midwest region. Again, I know a lot of us, our ears perked up when we might get a UConn second-round matchup. Don't love that, but this is not a good UConn team. But, I'm just here to say Dan Hurley, but Todd Golden in March. Let's go, baby. But, yeah, I'm really excited. I've been locked into Gators basketball for months. Maybe if you guys are like, man, I wonder if he's – why did he see that one specific play in the Lightning game? It's probably because I was locked into Gators basketball. I really enjoy it. But I'm locked into Lightning hockey too. But – It has been a joy to watch this team play, and I'm just excited to see them in March. We got to pick these first-round games right now. Yeah,
we can pick them. I'm super excited for this tournament, too, before we get started, just because, everybody kind of calls the upsets and the Ken Palm ratings and the trapezoid excellence, but, I don't know if I'm really sold on some of these upsets people are calling. Like, I'm genuinely excited for some of the surprises we're going to see. Some of the Cinderella teams they're going to form. Who's it going to be? I think it's going to be some unexpected teams making some big runs.
I think we might see an all 1 seed Final Four this year.
I've seen a lot of people say that, but it's just never the case, man.
It's not, but I think this is the best chance we've had in a long time. I think this is the strongest one line in a long time. I know, again, you just said, forget the Kim Palm numbers, and I agree to a degree, but I did see that I think it was 4 of the top 12 teams of all time in Kim Palm rankings were all teams from this year, all the 1 seed. So I do think it's a very strong one line. But, here, we'll just get to it. First round matchups, we'll pick them for you. Auburn, Alabama State, we're going to take Auburn.
Yeah, I think we're taking Auburn there.
Louisville, Creighton, maybe my favorite game of the first round.
I'm back and forth on this one. I think it's a toss-up. But I like Creighton a little bit better.
I think I'm taking Louisville. I think Louisville is criminally underseeded, and I like the Cards, man. I like Pat Kelsey. Michigan, UC San Diego. I know your thoughts on this. I am a huge UC San Diego guy. I love, I forget their guy's name, but he leads the country in steals. This is a team that is just now eligible for the tournament because they had to play 5 years of D1 ball. I think they would have been eligible in years past. But they're coming up D2. A lot of dogs on that team. A great defensive team. I like UC San Diego, and I like them to win. I think Michigan's going to be worn out from the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah. That's right. This is what I'm talking about. They have all the Cinderella categories. They got great shooters. But I just think they just drew the short end of the stick with who they're playing. I think Michigan's hot right now. I think San Diego, they have the biggest winning streak in the country at 14, right? And that's what scares me a little bit. You're destined to lose at some point. I know you're hot right now, but you've been hot for a long time, longer than your conference tournament. And I'm just think Michigan's size. I think they're a sneaky team that could get to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, Michigan. No, they for sure. That big-to-big pick and roll with Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden is lethal. Danny Wolf's a dog. I
think he's gonna have like a Moritz Wagner, Franz Wagner type of tournament.
Okay. Mo Wagner's a Michigan legend. Texas A&M, Yale. I am off the Yale train. I'm gonna take the Aggies here.
Yeah, me too. Everybody's talking about Yale. Give me the Aggies.
Texas A&M's a darn good team. They got some scores and they have that lethal defense, and they're the best if not the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. I think A&M wins this one.
Mm-hmm.
This one's an interesting one. North Carolina, a little scandalous getting in, but they won their first round game, and they're taking on Ole Miss. For me, I think the SEC has been so tough. A lot of people point to Ole Miss having I think they lost 5 out of the last 7 in the games, but I mean, they lost to teams like Auburn, Florida. They beat Tennessee like 2 weeks ago. I think Ole Miss is going to beat Carolina here.
Really, I think I'm going to take North Carolina. I think it was a perfect storm for them, having a chip on their shoulder going in. Not only did they win their first 4 game, I mean, they absolutely dominated. Mm-hmm. And I think they're getting hot, and they're going to be dangerous in this tournament.
Iowa State Lipscomb. Are you on the Lipscomb train?
No, I really like Iowa State. But some
like
people are calling them frauds, but I actually like them.
The only thing that Iowa State has done that's giving them, like, they've just gotten hurt. That's the only reason they've struggled down the stretch is they've been hurt. I like Iowa State, too. I think they're a team that can make a run. They have 2 really good guards. I think they have Lipsy and Gilbert. Both of them have been hurt. One of them is coming back. One of them is probably not coming back. I think Gilbert's coming back and Lipsy is not. But with that extra guard, Curtis Jones is a dog. Give me Iowa State. Marquette, New Mexico. This one's a tough one for me because I don't really like the way either team has been playing. But I like New Mexico. Donovan Dent. I like him here.
Yeah, I really think New Mexico is one of those teams that, like I was saying earlier, could be an under the radar team that makes a big run, a Cinderella type story. It's a tough game with Marquette, though. It's a tough game. But, for fun, I'll go New Mexico as well.
I think I like New Mexico, too. I don't like the way Marquette's been playing down the stretch whatsoever. Michigan State Bryant, I got no upset here. Give me the Spartans.
Yeah, give me Michigan State. This is a team that can go far. They got some NBA talent on that team.
Yeah, Jace Richardson's a dog. Florida, Norfolk State. Give me the Gators.
Yeah, pretty simple there.
UConn, Oklahoma. I am really tempted to take Oklahoma. Oklahoma has had a lot of ups and downs, but they're playing pretty good basketball. Jeremiah Fears is a dog. UConn kind of struggles to contain guards, but I just think Dan Hurley, I'll take UConn, but I think it'll be a really close game.
Yeah, I'm scared of UConn. I just have to pick them.
Memphis, Colorado State. I wasn't on this pick, but I am now. I'm going to take Colorado State.
Well, yeah, I feel like hasn't Memphis gotten a couple significant injuries too?
Oh gosh, Tyrese Hunter. Is a questionable. He's up in the air. He might not play.
I like Colorado State a lot, though. I think that's a easy upset.
Maryland, Grand Canyon. I really like Grand Canyon. I think they won a game or 2 in last year's tournament. But I think Maryland's really good. The Crab 5.
They've lost some really heartbreakers.
I think that's like their last 4 losses.
Yeah, the last 4 losses have been buzzer beaters. They're due for a win.
Yeah.
Same thing, Grand Canyon. That could be a Cinderella team, but I just think they, did not get lucky.
Bad draw.
Yep.
Yeah, bad draw. I'll take Maryland too. Missouri Drake. This is one that people are not giving Missouri the respect they deserve. This is a darn good team. They beat my Florida Gators. They gave Florida probably one of their toughest games in the SEC tournament, and they didn't even have one of their best players, Mark Mitchell. I really like Missouri. I get Drake. Ben McCollum first year. They got a lot of good stories, a lot of good players. They got Bennett Sturts. It's his last name. It's not spelled the same, though.
It's like a U
It's
or
with
something.
an I.
Ew.
I know. But I'm taking Missouri here.
Yeah, Mizzou's a dangerous 5 seed. Dangerous. Yeah. Drake's, they're done.
Texas Tech, UNC Wilmington. I'll take Tech. I think they're a good team.
I love Texas Tech.
They're good.
I love them.
Team.
Dark horse.
If they get healthy,
watch
out. Kansas versus Arkansas. Give me Calipari over Self.
Yeah, Kansas. I just think that their reign's coming to an end. Bill Self's great, Hall of Fame coach, but they just don't have the team this year.
All right. St. John's, Omaha. I'm taking the Johnnies.
I like St. John's a lot.
Yeah, I like Rick Pitino's. Yeah,
he's awesome.
He's awesome.
The Godfather.
Awesome. Duke, Mount St. Mary's, who won their first 4 game, will take Duke.
Yeah, give me Duke.
Mississippi State, Baylor, tough one, but give me the SEC team. They're tried and true. Give me Mississippi State.
Yeah, I think I have to agree there.
Josh Hubbard, player to watch, absolute dog. Oregon versus Liberty. I think Oregon is a team that can really beat anyone and lose to anyone, but Dana Altman, their coach, really does a good job in the tournament. So I'm going to take Oregon here.
I think, I'm going to pick an upset here. I'm going to pick Liberty. They shoot the 3 ball exceptionally well, one of the best in the country. And, I think they can shoot Oregon out of the gym.
Yeah, a lot of people have been on this one, Arizona versus Akron. I'm not on this one. I will take Arizona.
Yeah, I think Arizona's going to win. I think they're going to get. I don't think they're going to go far, but I think they're going to get out of the first round.
Mm-hmm. One of
I like Akron's coach though. He looks like an alien.
I mean, and then like you get Arizona, Oregon, the Pac-12 rematch. I mean, come on, man, we love the Pac-12 here at TB3. One of my favorite teams in the tournament, BYU versus VCU. Give me VCU, man. Their coach Ryan Odom, former UNBC coach, pulled the upset 1 versus 16. Now he's at VCU. I love VCU right here.
VCU's playing really well. I'm going to call this one a bad draw. I just think BYU is a better team. They have some real quality wins this season in the Big 12. And again, another great team at shooting the three.
Yeah, Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's a little overseeded playing Montana, but I think I'll take Wisconsin here to move on.
Yeah, give me Wisconsin.
Vandy versus St. Mary's. St. Mary's, I just every year they go into the tournament and this style that they play is just so risky in the tournament because they slow the game down, and it's ground and pound, but it's basketball. But I get worried with them. I feel like they always lose in the tournament, and I think they're going to lose here. Vandy's a really good squad. SEC tested. Give me Vanderbilt.
Yeah, give me Vandy. I just feel like the last couple years we've seen St. Mary's get in. They're a 4 or 5 seed, and they get bounced first round. I just have no faith in them.
Yeah, they definitely, I think their style does not fit well in the tournament. I think Alabama beats Robert Morris.
Mm-hmm.
I think Houston rolls in their 1 versus 16, SIUE.
That Evansville, Southern Illinois.
Evansville?
Southern Illinois, Southern Indiana.
Gonzaga, Georgia. I'll take the Zags here.
Give me Georgia.
Really?
Give me
really?
Georgia.
I think Georgia's the only SEC team I'm not rooting for, because screw those guys. Clemson versus McNeese. Everyone was on this, but I think people might be off of it. Will Wade is not – well, he's going to be coaching, but he's going to a different program. It's going to be – that is college basketball in 2025. I'll take Clemson. Really good team. Got good guards. Chase Hunter, absolute dog. Made a big run last year. I think they're not going to get slipped up in the first round this year.
Yeah, McNeese has kind of been the viral team. They got that student manager who carries a boombox around. Yeah. Signed like 3 NIL deals. Crazy. But yeah, with your coach leaving now, I think what works out for them is they have a similar style of play with Clemson. Like I think it's going to be a tough matchup. But I think now with that, it's over your head. That's a lot to deal with. I think Clemson's going to win.
Purdue versus High Point. I'll say it. I'm on High Point right here. They score the ball. They play well. They play fast. And I just don't think Purdue's that team, man. They've been skidding. Give me High Point.
Yeah, Purdue's definitely different this year because they're kind of they're led by their 2 guards, and it hasn't not really a big man. We've seen Purdue have like a big man kind of lead the way. Now it's their guards, and I think they're just more built for regular season play than they are for tournament play. I like High Point. I really do. I'll go with it, but that's not what I'm confident on. I think Purdue can easily win, but Purdue's not poised to make a deep run. They might get out of the first round.
Yeah, and then this was interesting. Texas and Xavier are playing their first 4 game now. I think Texas is going to win that game versus Xavier.
I think Texas will too. If Xavier wins, I'm not confident with them. They got some rebounding issues and stuff like that. But
I'm going to take Texas to beat Illinois.
I don't know. I like Illinois.
Illinois, that's fair. Kentucky and Troy, I'll take the Wildcats.
Yeah, give me Kentucky.
UCLA, Utah State. The Mountain West has to win some ball games, and they're going to do it here. Utah State wins. Love Mountain West basketball. Love it.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, Tennessee, Wofford. I like Wofford, but I think it's a bad draw. Tennessee is a very physical team.
Yeah, Tennessee's really good. I think that's another team. That's what I'm saying. There's teams like Tennessee, Texas Tech, Michigan State, Michigan, where I just think not all 4 1 seeds are going to make it. There's one of those 4 teams going to get in and take out a 1 seed. I just don't know who it is.
I don't know. Because
I just think with Auburn, dude, they probably have the best player in the country, arguably.
Yeah, he's overrated.
That's what I said, arguably, right?
No.
But I just think they're regular season merchants. I really don't think because everybody's like, oh, they're the best offensively. They're 13 defensively, but they're the best offensively in every statistic. La-di-da. I've yet to see it. I've yet to see it from this team, and I really don't think they're gonna go all the way.
They are very hit or miss. They don't play their best basketball in March. This is kind of a problem under Bruce Pearl. Obviously, Florida has a very, very tough bracket, tough region. But I just really feel like Florida is built for it. They played in the toughest conference all year, and at least they are peaking at the right
That's
time.
what I'm saying. I'm more confident in Florida winning than I am Auburn.
I think we're
any of the one.
I think we're really destined for a
Florida
Duke.
Florida Duke. It would be fun. That would be fun.
That's
what
we're on the cusp of. That would be interesting. That March Madness first round. Hunker down. Watch some basketball. It's awesome. Even if you're not a huge college basketball fan, tune into March Madness. It's the best playoff event in all of sports. Not even close. The only thing that maybe touches it is the World Cup. But I'll take March Madness all day
But if
long.
USA's not in it, who cares?
Who cares? That's the only country that matters. So, yeah, that's episode 78. Comment down below. Who do you guys got winning March Madness? Like you said, give us some grades on the Bucks free agency. Tell us, what you think the Lightning's record will be on this upcoming road trip. How do you guys feel about the Lightning or the Rays spring training moves? Should Chandler Simpson have been on the opening day roster? Just let us know down below in the comments. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button so you guys can see more of our videos. Spotify, hit the 5 stars. Follow us on Spotify, and then a bunch of content goes out on social media, so you guys need to follow us on Instagram at TB3 Sports Talk and at X at TB3 Sports Talk. A lot of content, and that's all we have for you guys. Episode 78. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed night.